Welcome back to part 2 of my Breath of the Wild Then and Now series. As you may already know, Breath of the Wild is filled to the brim with locations and Easter eggs from previous titles. Last time I covered a few places referencing Skyward Sword, and as promised, here are 5 locations that made an appearance in Ocarina of Time. Lon Lon Ranch, Zora's Domain, Goron City, the Lost Woods, and the Temple of Time. The first location we're visiting today is Lon Lon Ranch. In Ocarina of Time, while Link is a child, Lon Lon Ranch is owned by Talon. When Link is an adult, Lon Lon Ranch has been given to Ingo, who used to work for Talon before Ganondorf took over Hyrule. Lon Lon Ranch is also home to the iconic steed, Epona, in Ocarina of Time. Over thousands of years, Lon Lon Ranch has survived. It's amazing to think that the Hylians even kept the ranch going this long. From what it seems, the ranch survived up until Calamity Ganon's second attack on Hyrule. With all lore aside, this one really hit home for many Ocarina of Time fans, bringing back the nostalgia of racing Ingo to win Epona. The Zelda team really outdid themselves on this one. Next, we have Zora's Domain. Making its first appearance in Ocarina of Time, Zora's Domain was sort of small, housing a handful of Zora, the king, and their patron deity Jabu Jabu. Since Ocarina of Time, the domain has grown quite a bit. The Zora have since moved from the cave they once lived in and built massive structures to house their growing population. Over the years, the Zora have prospered, allowing them to build architectural wonders and their culture. It was really nice to see the Zora make a grand return in Breath of the Wild. One of my personal favorites, Goron City. Yet another location that made its first appearance in Ocarina of Time. Located in the side of Death Mountain during Ocarina of Time, Goron City consisted of 4 floors. At the bottom was a shop and the leader Darunia's chamber. In Breath of the Wild, it looks like the Gorons have moved everything outside, likely due to either the chamber collapsing over the years or they used it to mine for more rocks. From what it seems, the Gorons have done well to maintain what they had since Ocarina of Time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that Darunia carved into the side of that mountain? Either way, the Gorons have stayed true to their culture and learned to expand a bit over the years. Now we have the Lost Woods. For this one, I will also be including the Kokiri Forest and the Korok Forest to make the comparison in a whole. The Lost Woods has been in the Zelda series since the very beginning. However, it did make its first 3D appearance in Ocarina of Time, alongside the Great Deku Tree. During Ocarina of Time, the Lost Woods is a section of the forest that leads to the Sacred Forest Meadow. By the time Breath of the Wild takes place, the Lost Woods has engulfed all of Kokiri Forest or Korok Forest, along with the Great Deku Tree. In Ocarina of Time, Kokiri Forest is home to the Kokiri and the Great Deku Tree. It's likely that over the thousands of years, the Kokiri turned into the Koroks, and the Deku Tree that we see in Breath of the Wild is either the Deku Tree Sprout from Ocarina of Time, or a descendant of the Deku Tree Sprout. The last major change since Ocarina of Time is the pedestal for the Master Sword, located in front of the Great Deku Tree. Overall, the Lost Woods has changed dramatically over the years, and it's way creepier than it ever was before. Last is the Temple of Time. Located in Hyrule Castletown in Ocarina of Time, the Temple of Time was once home to the Master Sword and the Sacred Realm. The design choice picked for the Temple of Time in Breath of the Wild is a direct reference to its form in Ocarina of Time. After thousands of years, the Temple of Time has been modified. 3 structures now stand in front of the temple, honoring Din, Nehru, and Furore. Moving over into the temple, you can see that the Door of Time has been removed, and a statue of the goddess Hylia now rests where the Pedestal of Time once stood, holding the Master Sword. It's very possible that the temple was rebuilt many times over the course of Hyrule's history, causing it to have the appearance that it does in Breath of the Wild. That's the end of today's Then and Now video. I'll leave you all with some side-by-side comparisons of today's locations. Join me next time for Twilight Princess locations found in Breath of the Wild. Hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. Peace out.